All right, we're with Ryan Macedonio, internationally known, currently working with the Breeders' Crown. What exactly are you doing these days, Ryan?
Right now I am doing everything digital with the Breeders' Crown. So I've redone their website. I try to do basically organize every article, picture, videos, any content that is directed through the Breeders' Crown and Hambletonian Society. I try to funnel through the website and our social media. So I got a lot of stuff to deal with, and also too, the people don't know the Hambletonian Society services 130 other races like the Yonkers Trot, the recent Matron. So all of those things too, I have to organize and just try to get it out there because it really hasn't been done before. So any other race that we service, I'm just trying to get it out there and promote it.
So we'll get into the Grand Circuit in a little bit, but let's talk about you. Let's talk about your history. How did you get involved in the business? As a child, are you second or possibly third generation?
Fifth, actually. Third generation. Yeah.
Wow.
So on both sides. My mom and dad. So my dad's side, quick, was all horses, training, breeding, things like that. And then my mom's side was kind of the administrative side, from race secretaries to announcers to pedigrees to, and anything on the inside building. And that's how my mom and dad met. She was in mutuals. My dad was a driver. And
but we can go back to grandparents, great-grandparents, and great-great-grandparents?
Yeah. Main roots all the way up there. And, trainer-driver on that side. And, again, race secretary and announcers and publicity directors and all that fun stuff.
Wow.
So I've got it all.
I'm third generation. We were talking before the interview. You're seriously fifth generation. It's really in your blood.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about, what you've been doing in the industry and how you've progressed in the industry into the position you're in today. You want to talk now about the Grand Circuit and who you've met over the years and, what you're up to?
Well, yeah, working with the Hambletonian Society, I started doing my own media. I created a website and things like that, and I was just doing interviews because I felt like there really wasn't much of that. And I thought I could do, I just wanted to do it and have some fun. And I started interviewing people. And then Moira Fanning from the Hambletonian Society, she kind of became a super fan. I mean, why would she not, obviously? And she gave me an opportunity to just start interviewing random people. I think it was Meadowlands Pace 2014, I want to say.
Yeah. And so Moira and Tom, and now currently, obviously, JC, Mr. John Campbell himself.
Yes.
What other types of people are you meeting when you're interviewing, and what types of horses are you meeting?
Well, now I just do primarily the Hambletonian and Breeders' Crown, my own content. So it's my job to anybody that's in the races. So it's kind of, as me growing up in the industry, you kind of idolize somebody like John Campbell, and then now I'm working with him. And then I get to go and interview guys like Jimmy Tactor.
Oh, yeah.
And I know he's retired now, but, it's like I can get his phone number and call him up and ask for an interview, and he's going to do it.
We're looking at this shot right here, you interviewing Jimmy. He's looking at Purr. What's going on in this shot, man?
Well, that's just the disgust of everybody every time I've interviewed. But no, see, actually, that was a screen cap from one of my interviews, and that's the fun part of a screen cap is right after that I told the joke, and both Pear and Jimmy just were laughing. But it's right before they started laughing when Jimmy gave me the look, and Pear, kind of is like, it looks like they're both just disgusted with me. But that was a good time. I like both Jimmy and Pear, and they've been great over the years. If I need an interview, and I generally try not to bug people too much, because as a media guy, you can be a little bit annoying, I guess. You're always like, I need this, I need that. So generally when I try to interview somebody, if I'm asking them, it's for a purpose, and I think that most people understand that, like trainers and drivers. So I usually don't get any no's when I ask for an interview.
So, looking at you, Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America, most people might not know what you've done with Trotcast. How is it, working with not-for-profits and promoting not-for-profits in the industry, lining them up with drivers and trainers and getting the word out for either, not-for-profits in the industry or national ones in scope?
Well, yeah, I also started trotting for charity a couple of years ago, which was basically, hey, I'm going to make a jersey and we're going to raffle it off and all your proceeds go to that charity. And, yeah, I mean, I always felt like charity was an easy way to do promotions because people love charity and charities promote the people that they're partners with. So, yeah, I just started that, and total we've raised over $27,000 for charity. And this year I didn't do it because just as we were getting set to kind of do the auction and raffles, COVID hit. So I didn't really feel like it was a big deal to, hey, everybody's, in this virus, let's do a charity auction. I just didn't really feel that was right. So we'll get back to that in April and March. I have 30 jerseys just sitting here for next year, and hopefully we'll get a couple more. But that was another thing. I've always volunteered and done a lot of work with kids, so that's just always been something that's been important to me.
What about this next one? You've got is this a GoPro you're putting on a horse here? That face looks familiar. Is that who I think it is?
That's foiled again.
It is.
Part of my media gig is just trying to figure out ways to get new angles, new things, and we did that. That was his 100th victory up in Maine. And, put the GoPro on, and it's still probably, I think, top 1 or top 2 videos most viewed of mine. I think it had over about 25,000 views.
Wow.
Full views, not this BS 3-second views that people like to shove in your face of, it got 1 million views. It's like, no, 25,000 2-minute views of the race, which I know may be a lot, maybe a little, but for our industry, that is probably massive.
What about this next one? We got a couple characters here. I see the guy on the left, but who's this horse in the middle? He looks like he's meditating.
The only horse that's probably bigger than foiled again, and that's Bold Eagle.
Wow.
I went to the Prix d'Amérique in 2017 to watch that horse race, and unbelievable how he won. And luckily, he was. They brought him to the 2019 British Crown, and he was imported. So he had to do quarantine up at Mohawk, and he was stabled there for 2 weeks. And us working there, we got to work with Bold Eagle a lot because he was the only horse in the grounds.
Okay, so the guy on the left, we all know. I mean, come on.
That's Chris. Yeah, that's Chris Tully.
Who's the guy in the middle?
That's his caretaker.
Okay.
It's in French. It's pronounced Hugues Montu.
Okay.
And, but we call him Hugh. We're Americans, so. But he was so great to work with, and Sebastian and Pierre and the whole Bold Eagle crew was just unbelievable to work with, and so easy. They understand media, so for our job, it was easy. He was another horse I put a GoPro on for the Breeders' Crown.
Nice. So let's go back to the Breeders' Crown. We got you sitting here in a little John Deere tractor. It looks like the infield at Hoosier Park.
Yeah, that was this year. The way that their setup was, I'm just putting GoPros on everything. The gates, the horses, the infield, and luckily enough, Hoosier was great enough to give me one of their gators to just be running around all over the place. So that was me just going crazy, driving around, putting GoPros on everything, trying to make the replays and the production as good as we can, trying to get different angles, and I produced 12 championship replays, and I think that they're top notch. I'll put them up against anything in our sport and other sports.
Do you see, like with the consolidation, I guess, with the casinos, working with this new team? I don't want to bring up the name Gabe Prewitt, but Gabe's making some big changes in the industry. Did you see a difference with the way that the team interacted to you, this year in comparison with previous years at Hoosier Park?
I would say in 17 in Hoosier to this year, there was no difference because they want to put on a good product. So I say they're top notch. I want to work with them, plain and simple. They're easy to work with. The video guys, I did a whole thing with their video club, and Ryan Clendenin and the whole crew there. They just want to make the product look good. So when you have that start, you're really working at the top. I don't know how the transition with Gabe has been, but I would imagine that it's only going to get better.
Well, they're saying that the handle down at Pompano is starting to increase. The product down at Pompano is starting to get better. Do you see yourself maybe flying down to Pompano for like a night of champions or like a super night, or maybe going out to Harris Chester and covering like the bigger events?
I mean, that's always a possibility. can't say one way or the other. I would say my main focus is anything Hambletonian Breeders' Crown related. So, I'm trying to set the bar, and I think the Hambletonian and Breeders' Crown is setting the bar. And if others want to join the bar, then you got to ride with us. So,
well, let's just try to tie everything up now. Is there anybody out there, obviously besides your super fan, your mom, who we all know, is there anybody out there that you want to give a shout out and thank? Anybody that's given you a break over the years?
I mean, it's probably just Moira, because she's the one who started this whole crazy ride, and we've got a great relationship, and she lets me do what I want, and I think it's worked. Some stuff probably is a swing and a miss, but as a person who creates content, you're not going to hit a home run all the time, and I try different things. I'd rather try something new and it just flop on its face versus never try anything new. So
yeah, you're talking about Moira Fanning. I can't say anything. I completely agree with you. I mean, she gave me a big break back in the day with the Hambletonian. Shout out for Moira. And anybody else out there, you want to give a shout out before we close things up?
No. I think that's. I mean, listen, I don't even want to shout out Moira, because people know, like, if people have a relationship with me, they know they have a relationship with me, and they don't need a shout out. So I'm the other way too. If I was on the other end, I wouldn't want anybody to shout out or give me awards or anything like that. People know you have a relationship with somebody, and they know it, vice versa. So I kind of feel like I feel the same way about shout outs and things like that. I'm not really one to shout out people or give congratulations, because they already know it.
Exactly. Well, in this industry, mentorship is very key. Where can we find you out in social media? We've got Trotcast. You're working with the Hambletonian Society. Where can we find you? How can we get in touch with you?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything is Trotcast on Facebook. Instagram for our Hambletonian and Breeders' Crown stuff. Our website, Hambletonian.com. Anything that is digitally produced through Hambletonian Breeders' Crown, I've probably got my hand on it. And if you like it, great. And if you don't, then, I mean, that's media nowadays. Not everybody's going to like it, but I can't really drive my thoughts and processes on the people that don't like it. So I've disabled my comments, so you can't send me hate mail if that's what you want to do, because you get blocked.
Exactly. Well, we have to end up here, Ryan. We could probably talk for hours like we did earlier. We appreciate your time. That you've heard it here directly. Ryan Macedonio, the man behind the lens. All the best, man.